Imagine walking into a massive store or pulling up a sleek website. You reach into your pocket and pull out a crisp, fresh $100 bill. You hand it to the cashier, they smile, and in return, they hand you a small, shiny piece of plastic. You feel good. You feel like you've bought something valuable. But here's the brutal, unspoken truth. In too many cases, you have just traded your hard, real money for a ghost. You haven't bought a product. You've merely bought the promise of a product. But what happens if you don't keep that promise? What if that piece of plastic ends up stuffed in a drawer, forgotten behind your credit cards, or lost in the abyss of your email inbox? Simply put, you have just made a donation, a zero-interest, unthanked donation, to one of the biggest corporations on earth. Welcome to the machine, the billion-dollar machine. Today, we're cracking open the cold, hard mathematics behind one of the most ingenious financial tricks in modern history. It's not a crime in the legal sense, but in its essence, it is an organized transfer of wealth from ordinary people into the vaults of retail giants. This is the story of $23 billion, the story of unused gift cards. Let's start with the number that should make your head spin, $23 billion. That's not the valuation of a hot startup. That's not the GDP of a small country. That is the amount of money we, collectively, abandon in gift cards every single year. In the US alone, over half of all adults are sitting on at least one unused gift card, gathering digital dust. The average forgotten balance per person? $187. It seems small to you, right? But multiply it by millions and you have a silent financial tsunami. But how does this astronomical promise to pay turn into pure, sweet profit for the companies? Here lies the twisted accounting genius. You think a coffee giant makes money when you buy the latte, right? True. But there's another, colder way to profit. It's in the moment of forgetting. When you buy a gift card, your cash goes straight into the company's bank account. Instantly. It doesn't sit on a virtual shelf. It's in their vault. But under strict accounting rules, the company cannot book this as revenue right away. Why? Because they owe you something. It's a liability, a debt hanging over their heads. They call it deferred revenue. Legally, it's not their money yet. It's a financial obligation, in theory. And here's where the game gets devious. As the clock ticks and you don't redeem the card, this liability quietly morphs into an opportunity. Companies track redemption rates like hawks. The longer you stay away, the slimmer the chance you'll ever come back. And slowly, drip by drip, the finance departments begin a dark, magical process. They start moving your money from the liabilities column to the revenue column. In the sterile language of accounting, they call this breakage income. It's a sanitized word for forgotten cash. And here's the shocking financial alchemy. This revenue has zero cost of goods sold. In a normal business, to earn $1, you spend 70 cents making the product. But with breakage, this is 100% profit margin. No manufacturing, no shipping, no raw materials. It's money falling from the sky, clean, pure, ready. Let's ground this in reality. Take the coffee empire, Starbucks. In just one fiscal year, the company openly reported pocketing a staggering $212 million. That's right, nearly $250 million, not from selling coffee, but purely from forgotten gift card balances. That sum is larger than the entire annual profit of many huge corporations from their core businesses. It's a parallel profit engine running silently. No beans, no milk, no barista required. Just the physics of human forgetfulness converted into a permanent, growing line item on an income statement. Now, you might say, I'm not stupid. I don't forget my cards. I use them immediately. Fine. But let me shatter another illusion. Forgetting isn't the only way you unwillingly fuel this machine. There are 3 more mechanisms that bleed value from your plastic promise. Mechanism number 1, the fee trap. Some cards, especially those issued by banks or financial service companies, start decaying right under your nose. After 12 months, inactivity fees or maintenance fees kick in. $2 a month, $3 a month. Leave that card in a drawer for 2 years? It might be completely empty, eaten alive by fees you never even saw. Mechanism number 2, the bankruptcy void. What happens when a big retailer goes bankrupt? They file for Chapter 11 and suddenly your gift card is just a piece of unsecured debt. You are not a priority creditor. You are at the very back of the line, right next to the toilet paper supplier. Your money evaporates in the courtroom. Remember the collapse of Toys R Us? As the stores went dark, customers holding cards were left scrambling, often told their cards were worthless. It wasn't a gift. It was an unsecured loan to a dying company. And mechanism number 3, the most complex of all, the breakage harvesting algorithm. This is the 21st century corporate weapon. See, corporations no longer wait passively for you to forget. They actively predict your forgetfulness. Using massive data sets, retailers analyze purchasing patterns. They identify which zip codes, which card values, which demographics are most prone to never redeeming a cent. If their models show that breakage income is rising, they have a perverse incentive to make redemption just slightly inconvenient. Maybe the online portal requires a tedious sign-up. Maybe the card number rubs off too easily. A little friction goes a long way. A $1 effort barrier can protect millions in breakage profit. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. So where exactly is this $23 billion hiding? It's not just in the coffee shops. It's in the restaurants, the fashion retailers, the app stores, the digital gaming platforms. It's in the forgotten gift cards buried in your spam folder. A survey by Credit Summit found that 47% of people have lost a digital gift card simply because they deleted the email. Think about the psychology for a moment. Why do we even love giving gift cards? Because cash feels cold, transactional. But a gift card, it's curated. You're saying, I know you love this brand, but in reality, we're just laundering money through a corporation. You take $50 of perfectly good, universally accepted cash, and you restrict it to one store, set it on an expiration clock, and hand it to someone who might not even like the store that much. You have actively devalued your own money and handed the profit of that devaluation to the retailer before a single product is sold. Let that sink in for a second. You are paying a premium for the privilege of restricting your own liquidity. But wait, is this entire system pure, unadulterated corporate evil? A critic or a corporate defender would argue the customer gets a product eventually, and breakage is just a normal part of business. Airlines overbook flights. Retailers account for shrinkage. But that argument crumbles when you look at the scale. This isn't a few percentage points of slippage. This is a structural billion-dollar profit center that depends entirely on a failure rate. There is a pushback, however. Some jurisdictions are starting to wake up. In several states and countries, laws now mandate that gift cards cannot expire for at least 5 years. Some require companies to eventually hand over unused balances to the state under unclaimed property laws. But this is a slow, crawling fight. For every dollar reclaimed by a consumer protection law, the industry invents a new financial product like the general use prepaid debit gift card, which comes with a fresh, tricky set of fees that allow them to reclaim their breakage profits. Here's the uncomfortable question you must ask yourself. Are you a customer or are you an interest-free lender? When you buy a gift card on December 1st and your nephew doesn't redeem it until July, where was that money for 7 months? The company was floating on it, using it for payroll, for R&D, for stock buybacks. You gave them a micro loan and charged them 0 interest. And if your nephew loses the card, you didn't just lose a product. You made a pure donation to a corporation's bottom line. They won't name a star after you. They'll just call it breakage in their annual report to Wall Street. Let's go deeper. Imagine this: a corporation launches a holiday campaign selling millions of $25 cards. They know, based on predictive algorithms, that 15% of these cards will never be touched. So, on the day after Christmas, they can essentially count $3.75 million in pure future profit. It's not a gamble. It's an actuarial science. It's the same math insurance companies use to bet on when you'll die. Retailers are now betting, with terrifying accuracy, on when you will forget. They've turned human procrastination into a balance sheet asset. What breaks my heart is the asymmetry. For a family struggling with bills, a forgotten $50 card is a tragedy. For the company, it's a rounding error. But multiply that rounding error by 10 million people, you get a mansion for a shareholder, a bonus for a CFO, and a record earnings headline, all built on the architecture of human oversight. So, what do? Do we storm the corporate headquarters and demand our forgotten plastic back? No, the solution is stunningly simple. And it starts with you right now. First, treat gift cards like cash that's on fire. Tape them to your fridge. Set a calendar reminder for next Saturday. Use them immediately, even if you're just buying toothpaste or a basic necessity. Do not let the plastic cool down. Warm plastic is redeemable. Cold plastic is corporate profit. Second, destroy the myth of the perfect gift. Give cash. I know, your aunt thinks cash is impersonal, but explain to her that a $50 bill doesn't lock you into a store you never visit. A $50 bill doesn't expire in a year. A $50 bill doesn't charge you a $2.5 inactivity fee. Cash isn't impersonal. It's the ultimate form of financial respect because it trusts the recipient's intelligence to choose for themselves. Third, if you are sitting on a card from a company that just filed for bankruptcy, rumors, use it tonight, right after this video. Do not wait for the court hearings. The bankruptcy judge will not save you. Fourth, and this is crucial, check your digital wallets. Today, right after this video ends, search your email inbox for the word e-gift. I guarantee you will find forgotten value. Money you didn't know you had, one click away from disappearing into the breakage void forever. Let's circle back to the core of this mystery. We are living in an era where corporations have monetized not just our labor or our attention, but our memories. They have built a $23 billion industry on the simple, human, beautiful floor of forgetfulness. Every unspent dollar on a piece of plastic is a tiny monument to a broken promise, a promise you made to yourself to treat yourself later. But later is the biggest money maker for the modern economy. Later doesn't exist. Later is a black hole where billions of dollars vanish. So as you stand in the checkout line this holiday season, staring at that colorful rack of promises, ask yourself, am I buying a gift or am I just feeding the machine? Look at that card. It's not just a product. It's a contract that heavily favors the house. The house knows the odds. The house knows you will forget. And the house, my friend, is counting on your failing memory to pay for its next skyscraper. The $23 billion machine is real, and it's oiled by silence, by procrastination, and by the myth that a restricted promise is better than the freedom of cash. Break the cycle, spend the card, or better yet, just give the cash. The machine hates when you do that.